It's time. It's time. It's time to grow and glow. And I have the guide for you. Happy Monday. How are you guys? I'm pausing just so y'all can tell me how you are in the comments. First off, how was y'all's weekend? Speaking of the weekend, how did y'all do with the challenge last week? The one thing that I wanted you guys to do was say one intentional no. That was it. And I know it was better said than done, but let me know how you guys did in a comment. Now, last Monday we talked about the power of saying no and what no means and how no shows your confidence. And I know that was a tough topic for a lot of us because some of us are people pleasers. And we have to stop doing that if we want to become the best version of ourselves. We have to stop doing that. When we want to become our most, let me see if I can move this. And when we want to become our most confident self, we have to stop doing that, right? We have to learn how to say no and create those boundaries so people can know how to treat us. And that was what we talked about last week. Now, today, I know you seen the title. Today, we are discussing confidence versus company and how to stand tall even when you stand alone. Now, that's tough because some of us think that we need to have people around us to be confident, and that's not how it is at all. June is the month where our confidence tells us we are enough. So we need to learn, which we will do today, how to become our most confident self without having others to do that for us. Now, I can't forget this month is Pride Month. So every Monday, I'm going to say this until June is not here anymore. So happy Pride Month to all my LGBTQIA plus community, and of course all of our allies who support us again in every single thing that we do. We appreciate you guys so much. Now, I want to discuss a few other things today before we get into the topic. So, June is also Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. Okay, and I want to make sure that we are checking on the male figures in our lives. Because, while I focus on confidence and self discovery, this month I want to make sure that we are checking up on our men. But, our men are sometimes they're scared to ask for help because they do not want to minimalize their masculinity. And it's their month too. Okay, and it should be their month and every day as well. Let's just make sure that we're checking up on them just to make sure that they're okay. Now, I do want to give you some statistics, okay, because I know how important men's mental health is. Now, listen at this. Men are 4 times more likely to die by suicide. Over 6 million men suffer from depression each year in the US and they do not ask for help. So, in the comments, I will put resources and tools that we could be able to use to help support our men during this month. Now, as we know, mental health isn't just about crisis. It is about pure connection. And that's something that we have to understand. I don't want any of you guys to look at, asking for help or getting mental health treatment as a bad thing because it's not. I would rather, whether it's men, women, whoever it is, right? I would rather you guys ask for help than feel that you're alone and think that you have to commit an act that will take you off of this earth forever. You have somebody here who cares. And also, I want you to remember this is your safe space. So if you need someone to talk to, I'm here for you. You need someone to listen, I'm here for you. So I just want to make sure that you guys know that. All right? It's very important. And mental health, I know it's Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. So let's lift them up. Let's make sure that they know that they have people in their corner. They do not have to bottle it in or hold it in. They have some people who are there for them when they need someone. And with that being said, let's get into our topic: confidence versus company. All right, I'm turning the page. Now, I know normally when I turn the page, I'll say, hey, I'm turning the page. Can y'all hear it? But as I go back and edit my videos, I understand that y'all can't hear it. So I will stop saying that. So you already know how we start. I know we start a little different today, but let's take a deep breath. And this is our affirmation that we're going to use for the entire week. Listen at this. I am whole with or without. My confidence does not require confirmation. It is already mine. I'm going to say that one more time. I am whole with or without. My confidence does not require confirmation. It is already mine. Listen how strong that is. And remember, I want y'all to use that all this week. I've started to put it on the screen too. If you guys are watching, but if you're listening, I put it in the caption or the comments. If so you guys can be able to write it down, or you can screenshot it to make it easier for you. Okay. Now, this month to me is just a very important month, right? Especially with us focusing on confidence, because a lot of us struggle with confidence, and sometimes we know about it and sometimes we don't. And then we struggle with confidence to the point of we feel like we need a cosigner, or we feel like we need someone to tell us, oh yeah, you so confident, girl, I like that. You're the most confident man I ever seen in my life. You're the most confident person I've ever seen. And we do not need that. We do not need a cosigner. Instead of saying it's a cosigner, let me say this. You don't need anyone, you don't need anyone to make you feel confident. You don't need anyone. You have yourself, and that is enough for you. And you have to enjoy your own company, and you have to enjoy, like I love to say, the art of being alone, and how profound that is. Being alone isn't just about, being isolated. Being alone is about enjoying your own company, not giving a fuck if someone sees you by yourself, if someone hears you by yourself. Who the fuck cares? You shouldn't care about what other people see. If I'm alone by myself and if I can be alone by myself, that is a flex. And I want you guys to know that. You don't have to always be with people to be confident. If I can walk in a room and still own the room without no one else being there, that's what you call confidence. And that's what I want you to remember. Let's get into the meat and potatoes. Now, listen, there are so many layers when it comes to confidence versus company. And we're going to break down those layers. I want us to fully understand how that can impact our lives. So let's break it down. I'm not sure if you realize this or not. A lot of us tie our self-worth to who we're around, who validates us, and who supports us. Do we realize that? Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry about that. Do we realize that? And if you don't realize it, just know that it's okay, because that's human nature. And we crave connection, we crave affection, and we crave attention. And that's just, like I said, it's human nature. So that is understandable. I want you to know that confidence isn't about who you're around. Who tells you this? Who tells you that? That's not what it is. And you have to understand that you can surround yourself with people, places, things, money, and you can still feel empty inside. And you have to understand that. Emptiness, you can you can just still feel empty inside. And talk about me and my personal experience. I used to feel like I needed people to make me feel good about myself. And when I was with them, I felt good. But then when I left them, I felt alone, and I felt like I was missing something, and I felt so miserable then. And talking about this topic, it really hits home for me because I know what the importance is of valuing yourself so much that you know that it's okay with being alone, and you don't need anyone to validate that for you because you have that for yourself. You know what I mean? And it's just a a profound thing, man, to know that you don't need anyone else. You don't need people to make you feel good. Because at the end of the day, when those people leave, your confidence leaves too. If you're worried about the company tying in with your confidence, I want you to understand that. And you have to know that you can be your hype man in public and still doubt yourself in private. You can be your hype man in public and still doubt yourself in private. I'm probably like, wow, what the fuck is this girl talking about? Because build confidence on company, it's dependable. And when they leave, your confidence leaves too. And that's not how we want to live our life. I want you and even me, I want to be confident too when I see people leave and I still feel good about myself. I don't want to feel all empty inside like, fuck, man. I feel like shit. And sometimes we have those shitty days, but those shitty days shouldn't be, I feel shitty because I had all my friends around me and then all my friends left and now I feel like nothing. I feel empty inside. I bought all these things for myself, and after I bought them, I still feel empty inside. I don't want you guys to feel like that. I don't want to feel like that. So that's why we are focusing on confidence. The confidence we keep. All of these things matter. You understand? Like all of these things have a place where we need to actually value that. Because at the end of the day, I know some people are watching or listening to this and saying, damn, I'm confident. Why the fuck am I listening to this? Because you're not as confident as you could be. Remember, first comes self-awareness. So you need to be aware for yourself. I'm not confident, man. And that's something I need to work on. Or I am confident, but I'm company-based confident. Or my confidence is built on company. Your confidence stops here being built on company because we're not doing that anymore. Your confidence needs to be built on yourself because you're worth it and you have value. You're worthy of all of these things, or you're worthy of being the most confident version of yourself without having someone co-sign for you or have someone to tell you or make you feel confident. You are that someone for yourself. And I want you to realize that. Okay? Now, look, remember, a few weeks ago, we talked about comparison. That's coming back up here because this confidence, now, this is just me and what I think. So, this is my opinion. I think that once we look at people from a young age and we see all the things that we have, we start modeling ourselves after that and realizing that, oh shit, this is what I want to be, this is who I want to be, and not taking into account who you are as a person. What are you good at? What is your uniqueness? And why aren't you embracing that uniqueness? Why why are you focused on what somebody else is saying, what somebody else is doing? Why are you focused on that? And I felt like I always needed someone. I was using people to fill that void that I was missing. And I realized that I have to stop doing that. I could be, with somebody and still feel alone even when I'm with them because they're not filling the void as I thought they would. And when you realize that you can fill your own void by doing the self work and doing things that you need to do to better yourself for yourself and not anyone else, it's going to hold more value. Because you have to remember, even though we're talking about confidence, I want y'all to make sure that you're doing the confidence for you. Because when you're trying to be confident for somebody else, it doesn't last. Or when you try to do anything for somebody else, it doesn't last. It doesn't last at all because you're trying to please them. But you need to worry about pleasing you. You understand? We talked about a few weeks ago, whoever's supposed to be in your life will be in your life through all stages of your life. So right now, if you're going through some shit, they'll understand and they'll know that you're working through some shit. You're working through some things, and they'll love you then, and then they'll love you when you get your shit together. And you'll be able to decipher who those people are. Now, I want to get into the 3 dangers of company based competence. Let me say it again. 3 dangers of company based competence. Number one is people pleasing. Now, we talked about this last week because when you're saying yes to something that you really want to say no to, that is called people pleasing. When you're people pleasing, you're becoming someone that they want you to be, not who you are. And that's something I want you to think about. Number two, comparison. And we talked about that like 2 weeks ago. You measure your life based on someone else's. Let's put it in a perspective. All right, you're trying to live somebody else's blueprint, and we talked about that a few weeks ago too, right? And that's why when we wake up, what we're not doing, we're not checking that phone. We're doing something productive with our time to make sure that we're not starting our day with comparison. Now, number three, fear of rejection. We talked about this last week. You shrink yourself in rooms and at tables that you belong. You need to stop doing that. As we're talking about these 3 things, I'm going to say them again: people pleasing, comparison, and fear of rejection. And all of these things we already talked about. And I want y'all to see how everything is coming together. Everything is coming together. Every single thing is coming together. So this is something that I want you guys to really listen to and think about, because the company that you keep matters. What Billie Eilish said? Birds of a feather, we should stick together. Listen, let me say it another way. For people who don't know who Billie Eilish is, but I put this song in the comments though, so you know I love Billie Eilish. That's one of my favorite. Actually, she's one of my top 5 artists. So check her out. Now, also too, you have to think about this. Even though if you don't know the Billie Eilish reference, I'm sure you know this reference, that birds of a feather flock together. So you need to be mindful and be very, and use your discernment about who is in your flock. Be very mindful about who is in your flock and the flock that you keep. Birds of a feather flock together. So if you want people in your life who, push you to be your most confident self, and they're pushing themselves to be their most confident self, those are the people that you need in your life. That's why I love my group. I love my friends, and I love everyone that I surround myself with, because your flock is a reflection of you. Your friends are a reflection of you. Your family's not, because you can't choose your family, but we'll get into that another day. At the end of the day, who you choose to surround yourself with, that's who you will become. You become your surroundings. Right now, we're talking about not becoming our surroundings if they are not their most confident self. That's what we're trying to talk about. If they're not confident or as confident as they need to be, don't surround yourself with them. And that's that. And when we're talking about surrounding ourselves and being mindful of our flock, remember, confidence isn't just about being alone, but it's about being selective and actually thinking about who you have in your corner and who you have in your circle. So these are 3 questions that I want you to ask yourself when you're being selective about who is in your flock. All right? Number 1, are they affirming me or are they draining me? Which one? If they drain you, that's one gone. Bye bye. Number 2, do they make room for my growth or only for my comfort? Let me tell you something. In order for you to grow, you have to be uncomfortable. You know that. And number 3, do I feel more like myself or less like myself when I'm with them? That goes back to the shrinking. Are you shrinking yourself to be someone else when you're with individuals that are in your flock? I want you to think about these things and see how they really talk to you. Because this shit matters, man. All three of these things matter. And if you're questioning yourself about these three things about people in your life, then you need to remove them. What we said a few weeks ago, growth requires release. If you're asking yourself these questions about them and their questions are draining you, you're shrinking yourself, and do they make room for your growth or comfort, you need to let them go. Let it go. Let it go. You know what Elsa said? Let that shit go, man. You have to. And I say let that shit go, but let them go. Let them go and make room for individuals or room for yourself, for you to be able to, you know, be that most confident self, or make room for a person who will honor and will be there for you when that confidence, when you need that confidence. All right? Now, listen. I want you to remember that being around people doesn't mean that you're being poured into. Let me say that again. Being around people doesn't mean that you're being poured into. It could mean that they're draining you instead of pouring into you. Be around folks that pour into you. And I know we just talking about people in our surroundings because that shit matters. You become your surroundings. So if you hanging out with fucked up people, you're going to become fucked up. I'm sorry to say it like that, but it's just the truth. And it's the same for me. If I hang out with fucked up people, I'm going to be fucked up. You know what I mean? And that's something that we have. That's like really, that's really rough. I'm sorry. That's really rough. Even when I just said, I'm like, damn, that's rough, but it's the truth. And a milder way to say that is if you hang around people who have issues with certain things, then those issues will become yours. And you have to be mindful of that. Now, one of my favorite topics and something that I love so much, which I said earlier, is the power of being alone. Or, like I love to say, the art of being alone. Because when you actually get to that point of being alone and not caring what the fuck somebody has to say about it, that's an art. And you have to acknowledge that. Now, you don't have to be with someone to be confident, like we just talked about. So let me give you the dictionary definition of what confidence is. Listen at this. Confidence is the belief or trust in your own abilities, qualities, and judgment. It means having a sense of assurance that you can handle challenges, make decisions, and express yourself without excessive doubt or fear. Let that sink in. Let that sink in and get into here. Get into that cabeza and that corazon. Yes, I am a bilingual queen, just to let you know. Not really, but kind of. I'm working on it. So I want you to write that down because you need to know exactly. We're talking about confidence, and you need to know exactly what confidence is. That is the dictionary definition of exactly what confidence is. And that's where all of us are going to get to. I am, you are, we are together. Because at the end of the day, remember, we still get to know each other. So you are getting to know me and what I struggle with. I am getting to know you guys to know what you struggle with. So we can both, you can work at yourself, I'll work at myself. We both work together, and then we become the best version of ourselves for ourselves. And that's what our goal is. Now, when you walk into a room alone and you still feel whole as one, that's what you call confidence. When you choose your peace over their presence, that's what you call confidence. That's what you call confidence. And last but not least, when you hype yourself up and you don't need nobody else, that's what you call confidence. When you hype yourself up with no audience, I don't need anyone to hype myself up. That's what you call confidence. Let me tell y'all something. Before I do this, I hype myself up all the time. I don't need nobody to do that. I wake up, I get out of the bed, I say, today's going to be a good day. I'm going to be an amazing person. I'm going to do what I need to do to become the best version of myself. And I get up and do it. Because that's what I got to do. And that's something you have to know. Now listen. We've been moving a little fast, right? So let's take some time and do a deep breath. Or a double inhale, as my partner loves to call them in their work. So make sure you do it. A double inhale. And know that you need this. And this shit is good, man. This is good. And remember, these are the meat and potatoes. The first thing we talked about was the broth or the stock. Then we put the roast in the crock pot with the potatoes, the rust or red, whichever you like. Pot them up and put them in there. That's your meal right here. This is your Sunday's dinner. This is your Sunday's dinner, and you are preparing all the ingredients. Now, what we're adding is seasoning. Okay? Now, we're talking about confidence versus company, right? But we haven't actually talked about detaching yourself or detaching confidence and company. We haven't talked about that. Guess what? Now we are. All right. So here are 5 ways on how you can start detaching your confidence and your company. All right. Number 1, mirror talk. What is that? Speak to yourself kindly. Speak to yourself like you speak to your best friend. Be kind to yourself, man. In the mirror. That's what mirror talk is. All right. Number 2, solo dates. What I just talked about. Learn how to go somewhere by yourself and be okay with it. Learn to love your own presence because that matters. Number 3 is silent checks. Basically, what it's saying, making sure you're checking in with yourself without the noise. All right? Make sure you're checking in with yourself without the noise. Don't check in with yourself because someone checked in with you and you're like, oh shit, maybe I should check in with me too. No, do that before somebody else does. All right? And number 4, create before you consume. This is what we talked about last week because it ties in with comparison. Mel Robbins said, leave the phone in the bathroom. Leave the phone in the bathroom. Okay? Wait a second. I just realized why they call it a bathroom. There's a bath in a room. Holy shit. Oh my God. Wow. Okay, anyways. Put your phone put your phone in the bathroom. Okay? And pour into your creativity before you're scrolling through someone else's. Number 5. This is a big one. Celebrate without sharing. I'm not even going to read these notes that I have on here. All I'm going to say is that every time that you do something or someone in your life does something, stop posting it. Everybody don't need to know. They don't need to know that. Celebrating with you is enough. You don't need co-signers. Remember, we talked about that earlier. You don't need anyone to co-sign for you. You don't need anyone to tell you, oh my God, I'm so proud of you. This is amazing. This is beautiful. This is awesome. No, you can say all those things to yourself and that'll be enough for you. Now, I must talk about me, of course, as I always do, because I posted about something that I bought. And it was a nice ring that I bought. And I posted about it. And I want you to know that I posted about it for me. Because that was a big milestone for me, and I wanted people to know that I already patted myself on the back for it, but I want you to know I patted myself on the back for it, and I deserved it. Is that a little condescending? Maybe a little bit. There's a difference, though. At least I think there's a difference, and this is my opinion. Okay? My opinion is there's a difference between posting something because you want somebody to see it and you want somebody to give you accolades for it, than you posting something because you just want to post it just because you want to. You're posting looking for something from someone else, that's one thing. When you're posting just because you want to post, no matter who see it, no matter what, that's another thing. When you're celebrating something, you don't have to share it. It's okay with sharing. There's nothing wrong with that. But do not do it excessively. Because who cares about that? Honestly. I mean, you may care about it. Okay, whatever. But how is that making you feel? Because at the end of the day, we're talking about confidence versus company. That's company that you're getting to help you stay confident. You need to stop. Oh, damn. I'm just being so harsh today. But you do need to stop. You need to stop. I need to stop too, because sometimes I do it too. I know the last time I didn't do it, but sometimes I do it too. Look, but we all do it. You know, whether we're thinking about it or not, but, you know, we want someone to make us feel good. That's confidence versus company. We learned about detaching the two, and you need to use those things that we talked about to make sure that you're detaching that. That's it. Stop seeking things from other people when you can get that from yourself and you are enough. Like I said, you are worthy, you hold value, and what you say and what you think, that matters, and you matter. And that's what you need to feel for yourself. All right. Now, what is time for? Grow and go challenge. Grow and go challenge. 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 I did make it go a little longer this time, but it was because I wanted to. So, suck it. Not really. I'm joking. So, anyways, last week for the Grow and Go challenge, we did do, I wanted you guys to say one intentional no. Let me know how you guys did with that in the comments. And today, it's simple. I just want you to spend 1 hour alone. That's it. Spend 1 hour alone, spend 1 hour by yourself. Okay? It can be as simple as, well, no, just spend 1 hour by yourself. No phones, no scrolling, no talk, just you. And I want you to journal about it. That's what I want you to do, man. I want you to journal about it, and I want you to write in there your emotions, write what made you uncomfortable. And I also want you to say, while having this hour alone, I felt most confident when boom. I want you to say that. And I also want you to say, while in this hour alone, I felt less confident when boom. And that's what I want you to do. Now, it's 2 challenges in one this week, which I feel like you guys can do both of them at the same time. So the second part of this challenge is go on a solo date. And you can literally do these things at the same time. You can go on a solo date, take your journal, or, just take your phone and put it in your notes. But I don't want to hear about it, right? But this is something that I want you guys to do for you, because you need to know how you felt when you're alone. And if you felt some type of way, you need to do some deeper digging. Dig deeper. Deeper digging. That doesn't sound. Deeper digging doesn't sound good. So dig deeper into your emotions, into your feelings, okay? And you already know I'm flipping my page, even though I said I was going to stop doing that. When you guys are listening, though, it's a silence and you don't know what I'm doing. So I'm trying to let y'all know what I'm doing, so you don't feel like, well, what the fuck this girl doing? She ain't even saying nothing. I'm flipping my page. Now, before we end today's episode, I do want to make sure I save the best for last. Thursday is Juneteenth. Juneteenth. Wait. Should I be saying woo? I'm saying woo because we are celebrating, not because of the event. Okay, so let's just make sure that's clear. But I do want to give you guys some information on exactly what Juneteenth is, and just give you information. So now, this is what Juneteenth is, okay? So Juneteenth marks the day in 1865 when the last enslaved people in Texas realized that they were free. The kicker, 2.5 years after the Emancipation Proclamation. It's wild, right? But remember, it's progress. I know there's still a lot of work to do, as we all know. It's progress, and our ancestors and everyone who was here before us, they helped us with that. So let's make sure that we're showing appreciation and we're celebrating Thursday for that day. And Juneteenth is its own thing, of course, but I also, too, want you to remember that Juneteenth reminds us of the resilience that we had as a people and that we still have as a people, right? And it shows us, again, how resilient we are. And it shows us our right to be confident, our right to be, speak freely and live fully. Again, we still have a lot of work to do, but it's progress, and that matters for something. Okay? Now, Juneteenth was liberating. It was a liberation. And when it comes to talking about confidence versus company, and the company that we keep to build our confidence, and now knowing that we don't need any company to keep our confidence and to have confidence, that is liberating too. And I want you to know what you are working on is a liberation for you, yourself, and it is getting you to the steps to become the best version of you. And that's what we're working on every fucking day. Okay? Just don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, follow. Now, I know last week I said that I go live on TikTok on Mondays. That has been postponed. You can still catch me on TikTok every day, though, doing motivational videos. Also, just doing day in the lives of exactly what I'm doing, and Facebook, Instagram, all of those good things like that. Now, don't forget about the challenge. All right, and I want to hear about it. But guess what? It's Coach Faith here. Another week, another glow up. Thank you so much for letting me be your guide, and I will see you guys next week. All right, ciao.